afternoon. It is another windy day, but at least the sun's out. It's sort of warmish. I just got back from town, had an appointment, had to get some groceries and just let the sheep out. Never did find where they got out yesterday, so they spent the night in the barn or in the barnyard, and probably will again tonight. So I have a meeting tonight, so getting stuff switched around, putting the boys at the house and these guys where the boys are probably won't happen till tomorrow. But right now it's just keeping them in is the biggest issue. Good morning. So I have two options today. Put up a fence over here to keep them from going to the creek, or go out back and start tearing down some fence in that alleyway, and then I can kind of keep an eye on the sheep. I don't quite trust them at this point. They haven't gotten out yesterday or the day before, once I brought them back in, but there's still that chance that they could. And since we're not 100% sure where they got out, we're almost sure they jumped the cattle guard. But I just don't want to risk them getting to the neighbors. So I think I'm gonna go babysit again and pull out some fence out back. But first I need coffee and feed the birds, and then we'll go check on the sheep. It'll probably take them a little bit to settle in. Some days they're really good. They just go right to whatever field they want to go to. But by the time I got out here, they'd already been to 2 fields and were converging from half went into this field, half went into this field. They were coming together to go into this field. So apparently they think they're starving this morning. So I'm going to just sit here in the shade, watch my sheep, have my coffee, my oh so nutritious breakfast. They are definitely unsettled this morning because now they're going back into the other pasture that they just came from to go into this one. So This is actually the field I would prefer them to be in because it's the one I'm going to be working in when I pull down that fence. And I think I am going to take down the side by the trees just to open that up a little bit so they're not quite as pinched in that alley. We'll see how far I get. It's supposed to get hot today. I think it's supposed to be almost 90. And where we've had so many cool days, I'm not quite ready for it or used to it. So we'll see how long I last. Normally heat doesn't bother me at all, but when we've been in the upper 60s, mid 70s for the past while, anything above 80 is kicking my butt. So I just need to get acclimated, and summer needs to get here. All right, so the goal is to take down this fence behind me that runs this whole tree line. And I'm not gonna pull the posts because I think what we are gonna do so that I don't have to put a gate in the alleyway is we'll just put up a real fence here rather than the junk that's on there now. And it goes all the way down to that end, and then there's some fencing that runs north and south. So I'm just going to take the whole thing down, and then when we get to that point, we can put a real fence up here. But it's just we need to get started on taking some of this fence down and utilizing what we have in the way of posts. And if some of this is good, I might try and keep it, but I don't think it is. A lot of it's on the ground smushed, so it just may go in the junk pile. But I got to start somewhere, so this is where we're starting today. And I'm not going to bore you with the taking it down and everything. It's fencing. It'll look like this. Look, wide open space when I'm done. Yeah, I'll see you in a bit. So this is what I was talking about on this end. This goes up into that alley, and there's a fence on this side of these trees. We're going to take that off, and then we can put a gate across here. That'll give them this alley and these trees, and then we'll just make this a solid fence and then all the way down. And then this will go with the outback, and then this field over here, this field over here, and this field over here will all be one field. All right, I just have to show you this. So this here, this is the splice that the people that put this fence in. I just cut that part off. If my daughter or I made a splice like this, my husband would legitimately fire us. This, not everyone can build fence. I mean, this is unreal, but yeah. So this is why we are putting in all new fencing, because we have issues like this. And this is a 3-foot fence, and there was a top wire on it, but it was basically on the ground. I mean, this fence was only tacked up probably every other, maybe every third post, so it did not take me long to take it off. But I'm just gonna hook it to my pickup. I've got it off the T-posts, so I popped all the wire that was on the T-posts, and I'm gonna hook it to the hitch on my pickup and just pull this sucker out of here. And I did it in 2 parts because that splice just pissed me off. Just to give you an example, that is this type of splice that we do. Clean, and it holds. All the wire is off and in one big ugly pile. I was thinking about keeping it and using it on some of these other fences that still have the 2 strands of barbed wire on top, but we're really wanting to get rid of the barbed wire and just have all sheep fencing, and then have it that, what is it, like 4.5 foot I think 48, 30, yeah, 48 inches, whatever that is. I can't math today. So I just rolled it into a pile. We'll bring the loader out and go dump it in the trash. It's just not worth keeping. It's too short and it's just gonna be too much of a pain to try and put it on something else. So I think I'm gonna go head in for lunch and come back out and pick another fence. My husband went and got me some pepper plants yesterday since none of mine grew. So I have 4 yellow peppers, 4 jalapenos, and 2 sweet peppers. Pulled out the big gun to get all that wire pulled up. So now we're gonna go dump it and feed and call it a night. Load up. It has been a fairly productive day. I feel like I'm not getting enough done because all I'm doing is pulling out fence. But like he said, we're preventing the bottleneck. So if we stop the bottleneck, we might stop the jumping. Hopefully. Well, we've changed gears and are trying to get the swather started.
I'm not
getting us any spark.
No.
Well, and it's not sucking down the pickup any either.
No, that's exactly.
One baby.
I think that's all there is.
I think so too. Oh, rough road.
It was a bad year to be a baby eagle.
So ugly when they're babies.
I know.
But I'm okay with just one.
Looks like a big old turkey vulture.
It does. I don't see Mom and Dad
Oh,
anywhere though.
Oh, it's a Tweety. Did you see the Tweety by him?
I did not.
Wonder why he doesn't eat the Tweety.
Probably because he's full.
Of lamb.
No, I don't think so. I haven't found any deads this year.
Well.
Well, now that I know that the little baby eagle is mobile, is that the right word? Anyway, not just like sitting in the nest, but sitting on the nest. So I'm sure flying comes next. I feel a lot better about bringing the sheep in every night, and we will probably continue to do so. So they'll get out and eat for, I don't know, 12, 13, 14 hours every day, and then bring them in at night, and then send them back out in the morning. So, yeah, I think we're sitting pretty good this year. No, mama. Good morning. Apparently I beat some of them out here this morning. So, I don't get very cranky with people. Everybody has their own opinions about sheep, and you do what works for you. I don't pretend to tell anybody what they have to do with their sheep or how to manage their sheep or anything of that sort, because I don't know your sheep However, I'm on a couple of Facebook sheep pages, and a gal had asked about if weaning a lamb at 7 weeks is too early. And I said no, because, you know, we have had to wean the last 2 years at 30 days because of the eagles. So, long story short, because last year we had to wean all of our lambs at 30 days. We did this year too, not all of them, but the majority of them were weaned at 30 days this year. Last year, probably half of them were. And due to the eagle situation that we have. And I was told that because I weaned them at 30 days, that they would never amount to anything and they would always look like they were weaned at 30 days. Can you tell me, overlooking my flock, which of my 2021 ewes were weaned at 30 days? Do you see a difference? My 30-day lambs, dairy sheep take about 2 years to top off for growth. Kind of like horses take 3 years before they're technically mature. Okay, so dairy sheep take 2 years. I have never had an issue, except for the lambs that ended up with like coccidiosis last year, like Marble, who's itty bitty and will probably always be itty bitty, and will probably just be a pet because she's Marble and I can't get rid of her. So, but yeah, it's, if you don't understand the sheep, if you don't understand the program, don't tell people they're doing it wrong, because it works for them. Is it ideal? No. I am hoping next year we can go back to weaning them between 60 and 90 days. That would be ideal in my world. This year, the eagles haven't bothered them. The baby is up and moving and probably will be flying soon, so I am bringing everything in at night now. I was doing that before I knew the baby was up and moving, but now I definitely will, because I don't need the parents going for the easy feed with my lambs. But they have not killed any lambs this year, and I think part of that is, one, I didn't put anything out here until they were at least 60 days, and two, the weather warmed up a little bit better. I mean, it wasn't fabulous, but it was a lot warmer than it was last year. So I think that's part of why they were being able to fish and catch the carp, so that they weren't coming after my lambs. But I don't know that for sure. That's my educated guess. So anyway, I'm really happy with the way my sheep are growing. I have a pretty good program in place. And so don't go after people just because they're doing it different than you. If it works for them, their sheep are healthy, they're happy, what do you care? It is going to be another day of pulling out fencing, because it's a project we really need done and I have some time to do it. So yeah, nothing exciting today, but I've got some sheep paneling or sheep fencing, sheep wire, whatever the heck it's called, field fencing to pull off the fence that I want to save for down at the barn, and then a ton more barbed wire. So when Rocky gets home tonight, I will probably have him help me again, pick all that up, put it in the loader, and take it out to the burn pit, just to get rid of it so my sheep don't trample over it. But I need more coffee, so I'm going to do that first, and then we're going to head back out and start working on fence. So this is where I stopped last night. Got this fencing off of that fencing, and today I'll go ahead, finish tearing this one out, and then cut the barbed wire off of this one. And it goes all the way down there to those pipes. So I've got a ways to go still. Okay, so I'm slowly gaining. I've got all the 4-strand barbed wire off of these, or I guess it was 5-strand, off of here. I still have the other side to do, but I'm better than halfway. And now I need to take this fencing and go the other direction with it and hope I can roll it out of the grass as I go forward and take it out of this alleyway because it's kind of in my road. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's what we're, oh, that's lovely. That looks better. We'll go ahead. I'm gonna save this and use it for some of the fencing down by the creek, by the barn, where they're diving through and getting into the creek, so that way we're not gonna get to fixing that fence anytime soon. It's on the list. It's just a little further down the list. So, you know, this isn't on the list either, at least not right now. The perimeter fencing over on the other side is top priority, and then the one that we started in this old hayfield. But we got to start somewhere, and the more I tear down, the easier it'll be to throw fencing up once we get to that point. So I'm starting here just because it's bottlenecked, and once they get in, they can't get out again, short of backtracking or jumping the fence. So if they have more space, there's no fence jumping. At least that's my hope. So I'm gonna go and finish that and get some more water. I think we've hit about 90. It's 3-ish, 3:30, so it's hot.